The baby was screaming again. Not just crying, screaming. The kind that clawed through the walls, rattled the windows, and sank deep into Clara Whitmore's bones like something alive. "Leo, please, please, just stop," she whispered, pacing across the nursery with shaking arms. Her voice cracked under the weight of exhaustion. Her eyes were red, swollen from nights without sleep. Leo arched his tiny back in her arms, his face flushed, his cries sharp and relentless. Nothing worked. Not the rocking. Not the lullabies. Not the soft pleading that had turned into desperation over the past weeks. "I'm your mother," she choked, her voice breaking. "Why won't you just—" The door creaked open. Clara didn't hear it at first. Not over the screaming. But then, silence. Sudden. Unnatural. Absolute. Clara froze. Her breath caught in her throat as she slowly turned. Standing at the doorway was Mara. Quiet. Still. Watching. And in her arms. Leo. Calm. Completely calm. Clara's heart dropped. "What did you just do?" she whispered. Mara didn't answer immediately. She simply looked down at the baby, gently brushing her fingers against his cheek. "He just needed to feel safe," she said softly. Clara stared at her, her chest tightening. "Safe? You mean I don't make him feel safe?" Clara's voice sharpened. Mara finally looked up. Her expression was unreadable. "I didn't say that." Clara swallowed hard, but something cold had already started spreading inside her. And it didn't stop. If you're watching this, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because this story only gets darker from here. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. The house in Silverbrook Heights had never felt so quiet. Too quiet. Clara stood in the hallway, staring at the nursery door. Inside, Mara was humming softly, some tune Clara had never heard before. Leo hadn't made a sound in nearly an hour. An hour. Clara clenched her fists. "That's not normal," she muttered under her breath. Behind her, Ethan's voice came, calm and distracted. "You said that yesterday." Clara turned sharply. Because it was true yesterday too. Ethan sighed, loosening his tie as he walked past her. "Clara, you're exhausted. The baby finally sleeps and now that's a problem." "He doesn't sleep for me," she snapped. "He doesn't even stop crying for me. But the moment she touches him..." "She's helping," Ethan cut in. "That's what we hired her for." Clara laughed bitterly. "Helping? Or replacing me?" Ethan stopped. "Don't start that." "I'm not starting anything." Clara's voice rose. "I carried him for 9 months, Ethan. 9 months. And now I can't even calm my own child." Ethan rubbed his temples. "You're overthinking this." "No," she said quietly, her voice trembling. "You're not thinking about it enough." From the nursery, Mara's humming continued. Soft. Steady. Unsettling. Days passed, but nothing changed. If anything, it got worse. Leo refused Clara completely now. The moment she held him, his tiny face would scrunch up, his cries erupting instantly. But with Mara, peace. Every single time. Clara watched from the doorway one afternoon, her arms wrapped tightly around herself. Mara sat in the rocking chair, Leo resting against her chest as she hummed that same strange lullaby. "How do you do that?" Clara asked suddenly. Mara looked up, unbothered. "Do what?" "That," Clara said, stepping inside. "He doesn't cry with you." "Not once." Mara tilted her head slightly. "Babies can sense energy." Clara frowned. "Energy?" "Yes," Mara said softly. "They know who's calm. Who's certain." Clara's jaw tightened. "And I'm not?" Mara didn't answer. She didn't have to. That night, Clara couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling while the silence of the house pressed down on her chest. No crying. No noise. Just that same unsettling stillness. Beside her, Ethan slept peacefully. Of course he did. Clara turned her head slowly toward the baby monitor on the nightstand. The screen flickered softly. Mara sat in the chair again, watching Leo. Not rocking him. Not humming. Just watching. Clara's stomach twisted. She sat up. "What are you doing?" she whispered under her breath, as if Mara could hear her through the screen. Mara didn't move. Didn't blink. Clara grabbed her robe and stood. "I'm not crazy," she muttered. "I'm not crazy." But the words didn't feel convincing. The next morning, Clara went to the agency. "I'm here about your employee, Mara Vance," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. The receptionist frowned slightly. "I'm sorry, who?" "Mara Vance," Clara repeated. "You assigned her to our household 2 weeks ago." The woman typed quickly, her brows knitting together. "I'm not seeing anyone by that name." Clara felt her pulse spike. "That's impossible. Are you sure it was through us?" "Yes," Clara snapped. "My husband handled it, but," he said. The receptionist shook her head. "We have no record of her, ma'am." Clara stepped back slowly. "No record. No file. Nothing." A cold wave washed over her. "Ethan, she doesn't exist." Ethan looked up from his laptop, annoyed. "What are you talking about?" "The agency has no record of her," Clara said, pacing. "None. They don't even know who she is." Ethan sighed. "Then maybe it was another agency." "No," Clara insisted. "This isn't a mix-up. Something is wrong." Ethan stood. "Clara, enough." "She's been in our house, Ethan," Clara shouted. "Holding our child. And we don't even know who she is." Ethan's voice hardened. "Lower your voice." "No, you listen to me." "Clara," he said firmly. "You need to rest." The words hit her like a slap. "I need to rest," she repeated softly. "Yes." "So that's it?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm just tired? I'm imagining everything." Ethan didn't respond. And that silence said everything. That night, Clara made a decision. If no one would listen to her, she would find the truth herself. Mara's room was at the far end of the hallway. Clara stood outside the door, her heart pounding. "Just look," she whispered to herself. "That's all." She pushed the door open slowly. The room was neat. Too neat. Everything in place. No personal clutter. No signs of life. Except a small box on the dresser. Clara hesitated, then opened it. Inside was a photograph. Her breath caught. A younger Mara, smiling, holding a baby. Clara flipped it over. Her hands trembled as she read the words written on the back. "My son, taken from me." Clara staggered back. "No." Her mind raced. "Taken? By who? Why?" Footsteps. Clara turned sharply. Mara stood in the doorway, watching, silent. "How long have you been in my room?" Mara asked calmly. Clara swallowed. "Who are you?" Mara stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "I think you already know," she said. Clara shook her head. No, I don't." Mara's gaze drifted toward the photograph in Clara's hand. "He looked just like him," Mara said softly. Clara's chest tightened. "Like who?" Mara met her eyes. "Your son." A chill ran down Clara's spine. "That's not possible," she whispered. Mara stepped closer. "Isn't it?" Clara backed away. "Stay away from me." "You feel it too, don't you?" Mara continued. "The way he looks at me. The way he settles when I hold him. That doesn't mean anything." "It means everything," Mara said quietly. Clara's voice broke. "He's my son." Mara tilted her head. "Are you sure?" The words hit harder than anything else. Clara lunged forward. "Don't you dare." "Clara." Ethan's voice echoed from the hallway. The door burst open. He looked between them, confused. "What's going on?" Clara pointed at Mara, shaking. "She's lying. She's been lying this whole time." Mara said nothing. Ethan frowned. "Clara, calm down." "No," Clara shouted. "She doesn't even exist, Ethan. The agency has no record of her." Ethan hesitated. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across his face. "What?" he said slowly. Clara stepped closer to him. "I told you something was wrong." Mara's voice cut through the tension. "You should have listened to her." Both of them turned. Mara's calm expression was gone. In its place, something deeper. Something broken. "You took everything from me," she said, her voice trembling now. Ethan frowned. "I don't even know who you are." Mara laughed softly. "Of course you don't. You never remember the people beneath you." Clara gripped Ethan's arm. "What is she talking about?" Mara's eyes locked onto Ethan. I worked for your family, she said. Years ago. Ethan's face paled slightly. I had a child, Mara continued. And when he got sick, I begged for help. Clara's breath caught. But no one listened, Mara whispered. Not you. Not your family. No one. Ethan shook his head. I don't. He died, Mara said. Silence filled the room. He died because no one cared, she finished. Clara felt her knees weaken. And now, Mara's gaze shifted to the hallway. Now I've found him again. Clara's heart stopped. No. Mara smiled faintly. You felt it too. That connection. That's not real, Clara said, her voice breaking. That's not real. Mara didn't argue. She simply walked past them. Toward the nursery. Wait. Clara screamed, running after her. Mara had already picked Leo up. The baby didn't cry. Of course he didn't. He belongs with me, Mara said softly. Clara rushed forward. Give him back. Mara stepped away. He's already mine. No. Clara lunged, grabbing the baby. For a moment, everything froze. 2 women. 1 child. Both holding on. Leo began to cry. Loud. Piercing. Desperate. Stop. Ethan shouted, stepping between them. Clara held Leo tightly against her chest, tears streaming down her face. He's my son, she sobbed. Mara stared at her. And for the first time, she looked unsure. Then, slowly, she let go. The room fell silent again. Mara stepped back. I'll go, she said quietly. Clara didn't trust herself to speak. Mara turned toward the door, then paused. He'll always remember me, she said softly. And then she was gone. Days later, the house was quiet again. Too quiet. Clara sat in the nursery, holding Leo. He stirred slightly, but didn't cry. She exhaled shakily. It's okay, she whispered. I'm here. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, Leo relaxed. Clara smiled through her tears. But the feeling didn't last. Because deep down, something still felt wrong. She glanced at the empty doorway. Her grip tightened. Stay with me, she whispered. Leo blinked up at her. Calm. Silent. Watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button and tell me in the comments. Do you think Mara was really gone? Or was that connection something that could never be broken?